So it's been a little while since I've done one of these vlogs from the car. I thought I would take the time today to talk to you folks about what it's like living and working in a small, I guess, typical Midwestern town. And right now, I'm on my way to get some raw honey for my wife. She really likes the raw honey. I'm not sure, but that gal can just eat it like it's going out of style. What are you gonna do, fellas, right? The things we do for love. So I have to go to this small little family-owned farm type of place that's just on the outskirts of town. Get her honey for her. She wants 3 jars, 1 for my stepdaughter, 2 for her. But I just thought, yeah, this would be a good time to make a video and just talk a little bit about life in a small town, what it's like, and then also, this is not going to be really a techie type of vlog, but more, I'm really concerned about the future of my country and where things are headed. And I think this small Midwestern town is a good indicator over the overall health of a country. A lot of people would probably argue and say, no, it's, what's going on in the big cities, but I don't think so. I really don't. So, yeah, but right now we're just about there on our way to get the honey. And here we are. We're coming up to the place that we get the honey from. Hopefully it's open and this wasn't a wasted trip out here. It is in the middle of I was going to say in the middle of nowhere. It's really not in the middle of nowhere, but it is definitely on the outskirts of a town. This is what Decatur is like. This is so hopefully the place will be open, and we will see if I can score my wife her 3 jars of raw honey. And the magic door opens. And there it is. The raw honey. $13 per jar. So I'm going to get 3 jars. Okay, so there's the raw honey. Everything's on the honor system here. You just write a check or put your money in there and off you go. You just pick up your honey. Kind of an overview of the place. You can buy grass-fed beef right there. Butter and all that. But this is the place where we get the honey at. Well, here I am. No, I'm really worried about the future of my country. And this, I don't want this to be a political rant, because it's not, but I'm really tired of, what's going on. And of course, with the presidential primaries right now going on, a lot of people are saying things, trying to appeal to their base. But in my whole life, I don't ever recall just this level of just pure crazy talk, if you will. I'm kind of a middle of the road guy. I think most Americans probably are, and I understand that these folks are trying to win the highest office in land. They're going to say whatever is on the top of their, that appeals to get them the most votes or whatever. Like I said, I'm not really a real political guy. But the amount of divisiveness in our country right now is at an all-time high, I think. And the reasons for that are varied, but I think ultimately a lot of it's got to do with the fact Americans right now are probably in a state of shock. And by that I mean that the good times that we used to enjoy as a country have kind of come to an end, and people are trying to figure out how to maintain or achieve, say, the middle class lifestyle, and the opportunities to do so have really all but disappeared. I mean, there used to be a time when I was a kid that I could go from one company, one factory, get a factory job with a high school diploma. You could go to one factory and make a good enough living to support a family. You could buy a home, a car, have some type of decent retirement, health care. And those days have really just disappeared for so many people. The opportunities to do so is really not there. Today you have to have some really in-demand skills, but even those jobs are being replaced by technology. As a matter of fact, automation is one of the biggest reasons that companies are no longer investing in the United States. That and we over the years have gotten a lot of environmental controls, a lot of rules, things that make it pretty difficult to start a business. But I think that automation is going to be the thing that will do. I mean, first we had outsourcing in the United States, right? We have offshoring, outsourcing, and we continue. Indianapolis just lost, or was told they were going to lose, like 1,500 good paying union jobs that would be shipped to Mexico, a company called Carrier. They make air conditioning, heating equipment. The city of Huntington, Indiana, is going to lose, I think, 700-800 people. Same scenario, companies relocating to Mexico. And they're going there for cheap wages, and also they don't have the EPA to deal with, and it's going to hurt those families big time. There's seemingly not much they can do about it, but ultimately, even those Mexican workers will be replaced with robotics. I just read the other day where robots now, industrial robots, can be purchased for to the tune of about $25,000. I mean, that's really cheap. That's about 1 year's wages in a factory around here in Decatur, about what you would make a year there. So without benefits. From a company standpoint, it makes a hell of a lot of sense to do something like that. But from the human impact, there's no place for these people to go. And Decatur is definitely an indicator of, we're starting to feel the impact of losing jobs and low stagnant wages. The city's about 9,000 people, but our businesses are coming up empty. I mean, they're closing down, we're losing businesses, and people don't have the money now to even fix up their homes because their wages just aren't keeping pace with the cost of everything. A very common sight in Decatur now is empty businesses. Lots and lots of little empty businesses. This used to be a grocery store. It's on the east side of town, and we get a lot of flooding over and through here. And people on this side of town are cut off in the spring because of floods. And so this was a really important place for them to have, but it's gone. It's gone. The city of Decatur, in which I live, like I said, about 9,000 people, the local government does whatever small business people want to do. They're afraid that anything that they might do to get them to clean up the town, make their businesses look nice, might prompt them to leave. It's kind of discouraging because this town could be such a nice little town, but unfortunately, as I said, the small business owners really don't do much to take care of their places, and it's really a shame how things are turning out around here. You can just do whatever you want. If you own a small business, you can not paint the buildings. You can just let things fall into disrepair. Just a little side street down here. I want to show you something that if I were, I guess if I had the ability as a politician, I'll show you what I'm talking about. And you can see that these buildings look just, terrible condition. There's just not a lot of pride that these people are putting into taking care of their property. Now, if you can imagine for a second, somebody's first impression or from Decatur going downtown, let's take a look at this. This is where the city hall and all that's located. Massage therapy. I mean, you can just get a really good view of how run down the place is getting. And the politicians around here don't care. They're not making them clean it up. I guess it's one of my beefs. These people tell you they're not making enough money to take care of their places. And maybe they're telling the truth on that. But this isn't just the only part. I'm going to take you and show you some other things as well. You know, my channel is doing, I think, pretty good. We're about 11,000 subscribers now. So I'm adding around 250 new subs. I thought I'd just update you a little bit on the channel as well. I started a new show called Talking Microsoft, and I've been reading the comments on that, and it's been very, very interesting. First off, the approval of the show, the people that have watched it and commented on it, has been overwhelmingly positive. The one request is that maybe I talk about some other things than just Microsoft, the world of Microsoft. Well, the show is going to be around the Microsoft ecosystem, okay? So it's going to, of course, it's got to include, you know, the cool things that are going on with companies like, you know, Asus, Acer, Dell, HP, all those companies that are in the Microsoft ecosystem. The premiere episode, I talked, you know, just, you know, Microsoft and its products only, but, you know, the cool thing about Microsoft is so huge, so diverse, so much cool stuff coming out of Redmond and its partners elsewhere. You could just, somebody worried that, you know, wouldn't you run out of topics? And I said, no. There's just no way possible. It's too big of a company. There's too big of an ecosystem. There's always something happening in the world of Microsoft. You'll probably notice that I did not do a video about the whole Tim Cook, FBI, Apple thing. And the reason for that is, number one, it's been, I think, been exceptionally well covered by a lot of other tech people. I've been really, really busy. I'm making a lot of money, but I'm working just hellacious hours, and by the time I'm done for the evening, I just don't have the energy to sit back and make videos, which I've got to figure this out because I love making content for folks. So about the only day of the week that now I get an opportunity to actually work on videos is Sunday, and you know, I'm whooped. I'll be honest with you, but I just wanted to get out of the office and do something more you know, just something a little bit different, but a little bit more of Decatur here. Yeah, this is right smack in the middle of the main artery of Decatur. I think the company that owned this mobile home park, I know I get folks over from the UK and other places watching my videos, but the company that owns this place, I think they went bankrupt. And the folks overseas, I don't know if you have mobile home parks over there or not. I never really researched it. But these used to be extremely popular years ago, as it was considered to be a pretty affordable way to live for people to own something rather than just being a renter. But you can own the mobile home, but you can't own the land in the park. Well, this park has been allowed to operate in this condition for decades. These poor people have nowhere to go because their trailers are really old. No other parks around here. There was 2 parks in the area. Both of them are now, I think, in bankruptcy and in looking really bad. And these people don't have a place to move their trailers to. This is what they own. It ain't much, but it's theirs, and they're generally paid off. It's just a sad commentary that the city of Decatur failed these people. They let the owners let the place fall into gross disrepair, and now they are paying one hell of a price for it. They just have nowhere to go. Most people don't have the money to fix them up, and it's just a sad commentary. But again, the kind of wages that people with high school diplomas can earn around here, they can't afford much. They really, really can't. And unfortunately, a lot of the jobs that, university is very, very expensive now. And getting student loans is tougher and paying them back is tougher. There's just no easy answer. But this is just one town out of thousands of Midwestern towns. I think you got to get a general idea. But it actually, got to watch big rut in the road. This place is just abortion, but it's right at the, I mean, you just see it as you come in Decatur. Another business right across the street that's shuttered. Another big closed business gone. Look at this. This is a 100,000 square foot store. Used to be Kmart. And Kmart was the forerunner to what we know as Walmart now. And they just closed this down about a little over a year ago. It's now totally empty. Nobody will buy this building. This building will eventually collapse in on itself because that's what the city does. But this is the future that Americans don't want, and I think the anxiety is so high. And that's what our politics have gotten so divisive. People want opportunity. They're not getting it. They're being failed by politics who really, it's just one political party with two different names, the business party. And the business party is all about the short-term, bottom line, quarterly profit. And I'm a capitalist. I believe in supporting capitalism. Dave Cullen at Computing in Forever did an interesting video about capitalism. But if you let people do whatever the hell they want with no consequences, no rules, you're going to end up with something just like this. You just will. That's just human nature. Americans, I think, forget or really don't realize that we pay some of the overall lowest taxes in the world, and we still think it's way too high. Well, you can't have decent schools, decent roads, affordable medical care, a decent retirement, clean air, clean water, and not pay taxes. Good luck explaining that one to me, how that's going to work. I'm not, and you got people going, well, we waste all this money on taxes. We waste all this money on, welfare, and we waste money on all, giving people free rent and on, illegal immigrants and all that. And that's just such a load of horse shit. If you look at the budget of the United States, a tiny, tiny fraction of that money is spent on those programs. And furthermore, we spend way more on corporate welfare in this country, tax breaks for ultra big businesses and the oil companies and everybody, than we spend on, providing school lunches for kids or a decent education or health care for the poor and indigent. We're not doing anything as a country to address things like homelessness or drug addiction. My type of a scale. Our big industry here in Decatur now, you want to know what our big investment is right now? Here it is. A new jail. That was more important to the city of Decatur than to clean up the damn place, work on the economy, make people clean up their businesses, make the town look decent. No, none of that. It was a new jail. You know why? Because jail is a part of the business. It's part of the industrial judicial complex, and it makes money, and there's people making money off it, lawyers and the county and the city, and everybody makes a lot of money off of putting people in jail. You know why? Most of them are drug related, and by drugs I mean marijuana, and by marijuana a little bit of pot. Something that I've got to say, I fully support legalizing marijuana. I think it's incredibly asinine. You know how that happened? It happened because at the end of Prohibition, once Prohibition was lifted, the federal investigation, that took care of busting bootleggers and all that had nothing to do. So suddenly pot became the new rage. I did a vlog here with my wife and I, I don't know, maybe about a year ago. And this place was called Arnold's, and they had some of the best burgers and milkshakes. 1950s theme. But no one took care of the place. They didn't fix it up. They let it just run into the ground. You can see it's now closed, out of business, total disrepair. It didn't look a whole lot better when it was open. This was kind of a spot. I'll back up the car a little bit so you get a better view of it. This was kind of a spot people used to come to, and they would put on car shows, and motorcycles would come and do shows here. Pretty busy little spot, but they let the owner not paint it, take care of it, till finally it just fell in disrepair and went out of business. This is what I mean about the city politicians kowtowing to the interests of small business over concern about their town. And I understand, you know, if you're not making a whole lot of money, it's real tough, but at least take pride in your business, right? This was your livelihood, and yet it is in total disrepair. That yellow car up on top, it's all rusted. The rust is eating through the paint. It hasn't been touched in decades. It's really a sad sign of the times. The America that people want, that they want back, that the politicians say we're going to take back, what is that exactly? What is it they're going to take us back to? A time of segregation? You know, or where America was a mighty industrial powerhouse? That's not going to happen. Automation's going to take care of that. Automation has pretty much eliminated any hope of people getting good paying factory jobs. And so now everybody's being sold, look, you got to go to college, get a 4-year degree, do this, do that, and then they're saddled with tens of thousands of dollars or more in student loans, graduate from college with skills and for jobs that either on their way out or already gone, and they're being sold a bill of goods on a lot of that. I'm not arguing that college isn't a good thing, but let's be realistic here. A lot of these degrees are absolutely useless in today's society. In the economy of the future, even a lot of middle managers are going to be displaced by automation, you know, artificial intelligence, big data, that kind of thing is going to take away the middle manager. Hell, even doctors may begin to disappear, so that, you know, computer systems like Watson will be your doctor rather than these guys. Who knows what the future holds, but it doesn't look promising. And this is the last part of the vlog here. How's David DeFranco say that? Vloggity vlog? This is in my backyard. And there's a lot of these little businesses, a lot of these little shops that are empty. That's Decatur, Indiana. Lots of empty space. Abandoned. There's another little strip mall that they're tearing down on the north side of town. I'm not going to bother taking you through there. But most of these businesses are gone. Gone for good. They're not coming back. The jobs, you know what is a good business around here? Used cars. We've got more used car dealers in this town than you can shake a stick at. That's what I'm talking about. Empty buildings for rent, for lease. Gone, 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 gone. So in this whole strip mall, we have the Bureau of Motor Vehicles, we have a GNC, a barbershop, and a Rural King, which is basically a discount store for, you know, rural type items like rabbit food and stuff for your crops and your farm, etc. Not exactly anything like a Walmart, something like that. Fast food and used car lots. So that is my hometown, more or less. There's a couple small factories. They make RVs in this town. And that place actually ended up filing bankruptcy and reopened under new owners. They think they pay everybody a whole lot less money that works there now. And that's pretty much it. Finally, yeah, you have to go through a parking lot to get to my house. It's not all gloom and doom. There's some nice places here in Decatur. It's not all rundown trailer parks and everything, but there's too much of it. And it's an indication that people aren't making enough money to lift themselves out of poverty, the opportunities to do that. And that's what I think Americans are struggling to understand, why this happened. We don't really understand how we went from, you know, number one. That's what we used to shout when we were kids, America number one. But we're number one now in the wrong things. Incarceration rates. We've got more people in prison than any other country. That's our big thing now, incarceration. defense spending, all the wrong stuff, not the right stuff. There's not a single politician I think is going to be able to change it. So